Good afternoon, grade 12s. Welcome to our business studies class. Today we are still looking at our quality performance. We just want to continue from yesterday where we're looking at the contributions and the factors that affects different contributions basically. To those who have just joined us, welcome to our 6th lesson. My name is Hector S. Nkosi. Boys and girls, we have dealt with the majority of the things here, but however, we are still looking at this one. I just want to show you so that I can highlight. Just a minute. Need a highlighter. Sorry. Need to highlight. Okay. So we have dealt with quality, the quality concept, quality control, quality assurance, quality management, quality performance, all the systems, we have dealt with them basically, right? However, now, yesterday we were still busy where we explain or discuss how quality performance can contribute to the business, to the success or failure of each function. So, excuse me, we're looking at the quality of performance, quality of performance. How can it contribute to the success or failure of each business function? So we're looking at business functions, each business functions. Yesterday, we just covered 2 of them. Today, I want us to cover the rest. We're going to finish the business functions. Then tomorrow, we'll be looking at the quality indicators for each business function. Right. So now we're looking at the quality performance for each business function. Tomorrow, quality indicators for each business function. Right. I hope you are all following, and I hope everyone is on par with what I'm saying. And I hope everyone also is recapping on what I'm doing right now. All right, boys and girls. Now, we covered the quality management, quality performance, quality, but now we'll be looking at our factors. We're still under this key, basically. Right. Okay, guys. Yesterday we covered few of our qualities. Of our factors, basically. Right. Today we will be covering more of those. Right. So now I want us to look at the contribution of the marketing function to the success of the business or quality indicator. So today we are looking at marketing function. So basically marketing function is to raising funds, finding more money for the business, right? So this is the function that we'll be looking at today. So we know that, guys. Okay, let me unpack this now. The statement says contribution of the marketing function to the success of a business or quality indicator, right? So we know that we have to increase the market share in order to be aligned with the marketing function, right? We must increase the market share. The market share, we know that that's what is currently sitting at the market. That's what the price of each share cost at the market. Winning customers by satisfying their needs, want, building positive relationships. So basically, we also need to win customers by these various things. What are these various things? The various things is to satisfy their needs, their wants, and building a positive relationships with our customers. Right. So I want to make an example when it comes to winning customers. Basically, guys, you can do promotions with what products they like the most, right? And what products are necessity to them also. Also, by building positive relationship, it's always checking up on your customers, give them discounts, send them flyers or pamphlets closer to month end where you guys do specials and stuff like that. Automatically, by doing so, you are winning customers, you know. Also, the adhering to ethical advertising practices when promoting products or services. I've just explained it. So you must practice the advertising, but in an ethical way. Remember, some of the business are practicing advertising in an unethical way. So you must do it in a ethical way, right? That will also help you to win your customers, right? You must also identify a competitive advantage to focus or improve on marketing strength. So you must identify your competitor, right? What is a competitive advantage, right? So that's what you must identify your competitive advantage, boys and girls. Very important, right? So basically, when you identify your competitive advantage, you are like to you, if partner X or if X is your competitor and you are Y, right? So what is X doing right that makes him to compete with me? Because it's a competitive advantage. What works best for the other person in order for me to do? Basically, let's just use a practical example. Your practical example when it comes to a competitive advantage. Let's say you are owning a store where you're selling cakes. The other partner also selling a store where they are owning cakes. Basically, two different bakeries. But partner X, his bakery is booming, basically. His bakery is doing very well. His bakery, people are buying. Now you need to find out what works best for X in order for his bakery to do good. That's what we call a competitive advantage. Maybe X, he's doing something that you're not aware of. Therefore, you need to find out about that so that you can improve your marketing strength. You need to find out, what does X do in order for him to do good in his bakery. Maybe X is going to a certain supplier or is getting his goods from a certain supplier that maybe sells fresh raw material or fresh products. Or maybe X hired a good chef who knows how to bake, you know. Maybe you did not hire a good chef or maybe you just employed people, then you trained them by yourself on how to mix things. But maybe X went beyond to go find out that, okay, in order for me to have a good bakery, what must I have? So you must try to align yourself with what X is doing, basically, boys and girls. That's how we identify a competitive advantage. Also, boys and girls, the differentiating products in order to attract more customers. So you must be able to differentiate products. And what do we mean when we say we differentiate products? So now, boys and girls, you know, when you differentiate products, let's say you are selling sanitizers. Since it's Corona now, you are selling different sanitizers. Okay, you are selling, let me just say you are selling sanitizers, right? You stock your sanitizers from your supplier or you manufacture them, you sell them to the public or to consumers. Now, since you see that, okay, majority of the people are buying these sanitizers and they're really liking your brand, but how are you going to attract more customers to come and use your sanitizer? We know as people, we're not the same. So maybe other sanitizers, they can be liquid, Others, they can be a gel. So there are people who prefer liquid, like as water. There are people who prefer like a gel, something that they can sort of like fill it. You know, there are two different types of sanitizers. It's either you get the liquid one, very, very liquid, and the gel one. Also, you can put other sanitizers a fragrance. There are people who like to smell good, basically, you know. So you can put other sanitizers to have a fragrance, and in those fragrances, you can put flavors, different flavors. There are people who like vanilla, there are people who love different things, basically, right? Also, guys, in those sanitizers, you can do different packaging also, where another sanitizer can be in a form of a bottle. Maybe another sanitizer can be in a form of maybe a container, where that container you open it in a big lid. Does it make sense? So there are a lot of strategies you can make. Also, another good point, since now you can see, yes, it's Corona, majority of us are using these sanitizers. Some of us maybe would want a sanitizer once the summer approaches, would want a sanitizer that will do what? That will protect us from the sun. So in that sanitizer, it can be a sanitizer with a combination of a sunscreen. So basically, can you see, guys, you're attracting more customers because there are people who are using sunscreen on a daily basis. So even for those people who are in need of a sunscreen, so they don't have to apply both sanitizer and a sunscreen. So by doing a 2-in-1 sanitizer bottle that has a sun protector and also it removes germ, you'll be attracting more customers, right? I hope everyone is still following, and I hope everything makes sense. Also, guys, we're still looking at your marketing function. You can also look at a constantly reviewing value issues. Basically, when we talk about value issues, we know a value is something that we do basically. So when you constantly means now and then, you're reviewing what you do right, what you do wrong also. That's very important because it will give you a direction on where you are going as a business. Communicating efficiently with customers, get feedback about their experience of the product or sold or service rendered. Very important also this one, guys, to get what? A feedback. So you must communicate efficiently. You must communicate efficiently and get the feedback, right? I know other businesses, they actually do what? They do questionnaires or surveys. Like they'll send you an email after you've bought something at that store. Then they'll be like, good day, sir or ma'am. Could you please take your 3 minutes and tell us a feedback about the treatment you got or the service you got from our store on this day. And then they'll give you the link. You press on that link, they'll be asking you questions. Basically, that's a communication or communicating efficiently because you're getting the feedback. So the survey on its own or the questionnaire on its own, it will give you the feedback on how people are feeling inside your store, or how people are feeling about your product that you're selling. All right. We are still looking, guys, at your marketing function. We're still under marketing function, basically, boys and girls. All right. Just need a different color. Let me take green. Yeah. Then now, guys, another point that we need to look at under marketing function, you're coordinating distribution with production and advertising strategies. Very good, guys. You must do advertising strategies. It's part of your marketing function. Without advertising, how people are going to know about your product or your service? They won't know. So advertising strategies, very, very important. Using pricing techniques to ensure a competitive advantage, very good. Also, your pricing techniques, guys. Pricing techniques, very good. Otherwise, if your products are expensive, I'm telling you right now, consumers or buyers are going to run away and they won't buy from your store, right? So pricing techniques are also important when it comes to your marketing function, because sometimes if store A sells a loaf of bread by 10 rands and store B sells their loaf of bread by 12 rands, I'm telling you right now, guys, people are going to go to store A because the loaf of bread it's much more cheaper, you know. So people they'll be like, you know what? I'm going for store A because their loaf of bread is 10 rand, whereas store B loaf of bread is 12 rands. But if you use your pricing techniques to ensure a competitive advantage, therefore, people in that case, consumers and buyers, will have a choice in that case on where to buy. Maybe let's say store A can be 10 rands. Maybe you can say it's also 10 rands from you. Therefore, me as an individual now, as a buyer or consumer, I'm going to have a choice on where I'm going to buy or which store I'm feeling comfortable at, even though the prices are the same. Another thing that you need to look at is when you need to determine gaps between customers' expectations and actual experiences so that problems or unhappiness may be diagnosed and addressed. So you must identify the gaps, guys. You know, sometimes as a person, even as an individual, guys, you can't make everyone happy. And I'm sure you've seen this grade 12s when you go to a store. Sometimes you don't get what you expected. It's a given thing, basically. Not everything in life is going to make you happy, right? Or not everything in life it will give you what you expect. Sometimes we plan for west, then life gives us east. That's what is happening under marketing function or under your markets where or in your businesses, basically, right? So you must determine those gaps on the customer's expectations. What do they expect, and the actual expectations, right? Actual experiences, not expectations, guys. My bad. I meant to say actual experiences. So you have to identify the customer expectations and on what experience it happens to that. Let's say, for instance, you said, and this one, it's the one that likes to happen in most of the stores. Sometimes, guys, you can see on the pamphlet or TV, let's say when they say a pair of jeans is on sale, you can get it by 250 rands at the store. But when you go to the store, you only found out that the very same pair of jeans that you saw on the pamphlet or on TV that was advertised, it's actually 350 rands. And now you have seen it on TV or on the flyer or pamphlet at 250 rands. Then you go to the store and you ask one of their members. You are like to them, look, here in your shelves or the price that I see here, it says 350, but on the advert, it was 250. You see? Sometimes it happens that, yes, it was advertised and the sale is correct. However, the store forgot to change the price on the system and on the shelf. So you must determine those gaps between what the customer expect and their actual experiences so that you can mitigate or avoid that problem or unhappiness in the near future. So customer expectation, very important. You must determine the gaps. I hope it makes sense, boys and girls. You must determine the gaps for customers' expectations. Right. Okay. Also, another point that we can look at, boys and girls, making adjustments and changes to products or services based on feedback from customers or results of market research. So you must try to make adjustments and changes to products based on what the customers they felt like, right? Let's say if during your surveys that you sent and the questionnaires, if the customer said they did not like 1, 2, 3 on the survey, try to implement those in your store. So you must make adjustments. Make adjustments or changes based on the feedback, that you got from your questionnaire or survey, the time you were doing your research. Also, guys, using aggressive advertising campaigns to sustain or increase market share. You must. We already spoke about advertising, but it must be aggressive. It must be aggressive. So, guys, when you speak about the aggressive advertising now, it's when you are being extra, doing more, other advertising guys, you can tell that the person who advertised did not put so much effort. Some other advertising, when they advertise service or products, they just attract you and you immediately want to join that thing if it's a service, or you would immediately want to buy that thing if it's a product. That's what we mean by aggressive advertising campaign, right? It's when you're doing extra, it's when you're doing extra miles, basically, right? All right. Now, there's a question. Someone is asking, even if you got one bad feedback from the customer, you should change the service or make adjustment to. Someone is asking that question. Guys, let me repeat it for those who did not hear it. The question says, even if you got one bad feedback from a customer, should you change the service or make an adjustment? Okay, Shelly just asked that question. It depends, right? If majority of the people, they were complaining about that one question, therefore definitely you have to change, even if it's just one thing. But if majority of the people are complaining about that one question, therefore you have to implement it or you have to change it. But let's say now, if the question only one person or 3 people thought of that, therefore you don't have to, because that's a minority. So in that case, basically, you must weigh the majority and the minority situation, right? I hope I've answered your question and I hope it was helpful. Thank you. All right. Now let's look at the contribution of the financial function. Now let's look at our financial function. Financial function. Let's look at the financial function now. We are done with the marketing function. Now let's do financial function. I see another chat. Okay. Okay, cool. As long as it was helpful and I'm glad that I managed to help you also. Okay. Now, with your financial function now, guys, we're looking at money, we're looking at the cash, the costs, anything that relates or is being attached with the finances of the business. Right. So, with your financial functions, guys, you must obtain capital from the most suitable, available, reliable source. So obtain capital. That's the first thing. Every time when you start a business, you must obtain capital. Right? Remember, you can raise capital in two ways, guys. It's either you can borrow a loan from a bank, or if you're a company, you can issue out shares to the public if you're a public company. But if you're a private company, you can only issue out shares to the shareholders. Right. So you can only issue out shares only if you're a company. But let's say you're not a company, let's say you're a partnership or a sole proprietor, you can always go borrow a loan from the most suitable or available reliable source. Banks, they do give people, or let me just say financial institutions, they do give people or businesses loans. Negotiate a better interest rate in order to keep financial costs down. Very important. You must negotiate. Because guys, remember in a business, the aim in the business is to save costs. That's the aim in the business. We must try by all means to save costs. So in order for us to save costs, whatever we have borrowed from the bank must be reasonable. You can't borrow a capital or money that is going to be expensive for you. Draw up budgets. Very important, guys. Without a budget, guys, a business is nothing. Because budget is part of planning, basically. So you must draw up your budgets to ensure sufficient application of monetary resources. Because when you draw up a budget, you focus that likely or roughly next month, how much I'm expecting after paying so much and after getting so much money. That's the purpose of drawing up the budget. It will give you a sort of like a clear indication on what's going to happen basically going forward. I mean, for the next month or for the next quarter, depending about your business. When do you normally pay your expenses? But normally it's monthly. But other businesses, they pay all their expenses and they get all their income after a quarter. But majority of the time, it's on a monthly basis. Keep financial records to update to up to date to ensure timely and accurate tax payments. Financial records must be up to date. Very important. Right. Analyze strategies to increase profitability. You must analyze strategies. What are strategies? It's when you want to implement new things, right? So you must analyze those strategies. That, okay, I'm planning to do this, but how I'm going to do it? That's when you analyze your strategy. Invest surplus funds to create source of passive income. So you must invest in into your surplus. You must invest your surplus funds to create your passive income. Implement financial control measures or system to prevent fraud. So you must implement financial control measures. Basically, you can say implement internal controls in the business is still the same as this one. Basically, when they say, just want to highlight this. Very important, this one, guys. If you don't implement these financial control measures, I'm telling you right now, grade 12s, you can be running at a loss. Not saying maybe your product it's not being sold. It is being sold, but because there is no financial measure or systems, people are stealing from the store, people are stealing money. The same people who's selling is the very same people who goes and bank the cash. Remember, we must have separating of duties and stuff like that. That's where you implement financial control. The person who counts the money cannot be the person who goes store it or bank it at the bank. Okay, more of your financial functions. Sorry, more of our financial functions. You must implement a credit granting or debt collection policies to monitor cash flow. So for your customers or your debtors, you must try to have a debt collection policy where you like every after 30 days, say a person who's bought goods on credit must pay me so much, right? Very important. You must implement your credit granting. Very, very important. Because people are not going to pay you if you don't implement those policies, and you'll be running at a loss. But you don't want to run at a loss. You always want to see yourself. Remember, the purpose of opening a business is to make money, is to make cash. So all these things, they need to be taken into consideration. You must draw up an accurate financial statements regularly. When you speak about financial statements, you speak about income statement, balance sheet, and cash flows statement. Accurately analyze and interpret financial information. You must do that. So basically, you must say, okay, last month I bought 5,000 of electricity. This month I bought 4,000 of electricity. You must sit down and say, okay, there was a decrease of 1,000 rand. How did it happen, that decrease? Maybe you are using your machines wisely now. All your workers, they're familiar with the work now. Therefore, no electricity that is more being used. What else that uses electricity normally in the business? Let's say you have installed your solar. You're no longer using geyser. You're no longer getting hot water from the geyser. Therefore, that will save the electricity also. So that's where you accurately analyze and interpret financial information. Invest in strategies that will assist the business to remain profitable. So anything that will make the profit remain profitable. We know, guys, other stores, like it or not, if there's a certain year, a certain days in a year where they've got sales, like Darko Blue, Corona or no Corona. I can't mention those stores, but if you're a business studies student, you should know those stores by now. And that's how they invest in those strategies so that the business remains profitable, because they know that every year on these days, we're doing this or we're doing that. That's a strategy. Avoid over or under capitalization so that the financial resources will be utilized efficiently. That's also important. So you must try by all means to avoid those, boys and girls. It's very important, right? All right, boys and girls. From tomorrow, we'll finish from the public function. Then we'll start with another second part of this. So for now, let's finish here where it says financial function. So tomorrow, we're going to start from public function, right? From my side, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Please feel free to always email me at nkosihector@gmail.com. Should you have any queries, it doesn't have to be this chapter, but it can be any other business study query. Just email me. I can always help you out. Yeah, guys, I'm here to help you. Please don't feel bad or don't feel otherwise. We are here to help you as a STEAM Digital School. From my side, I say thank you so much and have a lovely evening. Goodbye.